air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the four nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all four elements, was always responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Roku passed away 13 years ago. Now, the four nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar, but the world is met with silence. Rumors from the Earth Kingdom abound that the Fire Nation is planning an aggressive move into the Earth Kingdom. 5 young heroes were too late to save the Southern Air Temple, but they hold vital information that could save the Earth Kingdom, and maybe even save the world.
Today is the day. As of this episode right now, Nick is married.
That is true. It was not today. But
it was not today. And he actually came straight from his wedding ceremony to record this podcast.
He's still in his dress.
He's still in his dress. He looks beautiful.
I look fantastic. Thank you.
Nick, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Johnny, that was completely inappropriate.
That was a line and a veil.
Oh,
both of those.
We got layered
once.
puns
both
there.
Of those at once. I wasn't actually going to say that. I was actually going to say, as of today of this episode, we are, I guess, technically not canon anymore. Technically.
Oh, really? What? We had our departure?
Sure. We can debate it all day long. I was browsing through the Avatar wiki as one does. And, of course. As we've been getting closer to the Dai Li and Ba Sing Se, I was like, let me look up the Dai Li and Ba Sing Se. And I'm like, so Long Feng is the one who created the brainwashing techniques. Well, we have now said that someone else has created the brainwashing techniques. I don't know if that completely takes us out of canon. Like, I think some of the diehards might argue with me, and I'll say, well, maybe the information was buried for 100 years. Danny.
What? Whoa.
They are at war. And maybe we destroyed the information. You don't know.
Maybe we destroyed the information.
I was going to say, since we're not canon anymore, can Rosa become the Fire Lord?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Cool. No, we are canon. Everything that contradicts us is no longer canon.
That's a good point.
Oh, right? Wow. Right when we move in there, it's gone.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
I like the strength of this position. I feel attracted to you the same way people are attracted to dictators.
Reality bends around me.
I feel like I'm becoming a fascist as we speak.
Oh my gosh. Bring it back.
Nowzo loves this conversation.
It's just Justinism. It's just Justinism.
Justinism?
Justinism. We talked about Justinism, right?
Yeah, we're moving on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we did. We covered that.
Speaking of, we don't have a canon in our store, but Steve, tell them what they can buy on our store.
That's the worst. You just tried to play canon and canned? Okay. Yes, you can find amazing merch on the merch store. We have stuff up and are super excited. Check it out if you want to help fight the powers of evil in the universe, support fair wear, support fair trade, and also look cool and feel comfortable. Patreon members, you get discounts, 10%, 15%, or 20% off, depending on how much you can support us. So,
that's so cool. Yep. Maybe one day we'll make a little badge.
Yes.
Oh, we should.
Maybe we have patches on our store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need special swag for the different members, donors.
You and I have talked about that. That's in the works. It's coming down the pipeline. I don't know when, but it'll be there. It'll be there.
Yeah. Check out the merch store. We're at flyingbisonpodcast.com.
See a link to our store there.
Yes, go to the shop page.
Yeah, go to the shop page. Maybe I didn't call it the shop page. Maybe I called it the...
I'm looking at the website right now. It's called the shop page.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
Wait, yeah. Give me a second.
The title is the shop page?
No, it's the shop button.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, it does say shop on the top. Shop on the top.
I still need to order my joggers.
All right. You guys want to tell me who your favorite comedian is first, or do we want to tell the listeners what growth and advancement you chose? We'll do both But what do we want to do first?
I don't know. I'm leading growth for no reason.
Okay, right. Growth for no reason.
Yeah, all right. There it is.
Yeah.
It's a fact of life. Everybody grows for no reason.
That's right.
But not everybody advances.
But not everyone advances. It's true.
This is such a good life lesson.
All right, who wants to go first? I think everybody got a growth and advancement, right? Everyone got at least 4, filled up all 4 of their growth, so they get an advancement. We got some good ones. Steve, why don't you go first? What did Ren take?
Ren took the moment of balance because I'm just so hyped about the sheer possibility of using that at any point. I'll probably misuse it. It'll be horrible, but yeah, it'll be great for me. And moment of balance, you just take narrative control for a little bit and you get to do whatever you want to do.
There's sort of specific triggers that are like, it's sort of the arc of the playbook, right? Like it's that moment, it's the end of the season, end of their story. They get to do that big crazy thing that kind of defines them as a character. I think I will find out what Johnny chose. I know Johnny was looking at. In fact, let's do it now. Johnny, you were debating between a couple things, right?
Yeah, I was debating between, I think at one point I was debating between like 4 different options, and then I narrowed it down to 2, and then I picked one of the 2 that I didn't tell you guys about. So I also chose my moment of balance.
You also chose your moment of balance?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You and I had talked about that. Yeah.
Yes.
You're locked and loaded.
So, listeners, if you're counting, that means we have 3 people who have unlocked their moment of balance. We're waiting
just
for
hanging on to it.
Che, Ren, and Sho Bon.
We all use it at the same time.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be really funny.
All go Super Saiyan together.
Or like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails when they like become. Did you ever play that Sonic game? There was the one where you played like all 3 of them. You would like switch between the 3 of them.
I think
A romantic triad? Is that?
Yeah, I think it's called Sonic Romantic Triad. Yep. It got a little spicy in some scenes.
I don't mind whatever implications you're reading into this.
All right, someone else go. How did you advance?
I just put another point into passion for Che.
Wow, that fits the theme of advances right now.
Yeah.
Rozak has a martyr complex now.
Can you read this? Because I will come out as saying I think this is my favorite move in the entire game.
Martyr complex?
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Yeah, so it's a guardian move called, wait for it, martyr complex, and it reads: when you have a total of 8 between conditions marked highest principle and fatigue marked, I think the guardian takes a +1 ongoing to all moves as long as he has a total of 8 marked between those 3 things.
I love it.
I was just thinking about that the fight between Dosa and Shi, and he had like 12 between all those marks. So I was like,
I love it. It's like so subtle in the way that encourages you to like protect people, but like strike that balance of also making sure that you don't like go down. You know what I mean? So you're like constantly like, I want that. I want to be able to protect people, but I also don't want to get taken out of a fight. It's my favorite move. Monroe, Leeko is exploring the dark side. What did she take as her advancement?
Okay. Yeah, shift my center because I think, in my opinion, it makes sense because she's essentially transitioning into a different type of person. So I think her balance would shift with that.
Yeah. And she's exploring something that probably Kanu wouldn't have approved of. Her parents, she might not know them, but based on what she does know about her parents, might not have approved of.
As far as tradition is concerned?
Well, do we know?
As far as tradition and role. Yeah, we don't know. I'm just saying as far as Leeko is aware.
But didn't Kanu just betray her right now? Okay, never mind.
I mean, we didn't really get a chance to explain what was
happening.
I'm
like in Leeko's head. I'm like...
you're good.
Everybody's against me.
Not a face, Mom.
I guess we should have explained it. I want the listeners would probably know this, but that Green Lantern on the track that was circling around you is what they used to brainwash people in the Avatar show.
It's hypnosis at work.
So the fact that it was in that room with Kanu, I was just trying to hint at the fact that maybe Kanu might not be in control of her faculties. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was like it was used on Kanu or if it was used on Leeko. But I figured I was still very much in Leeko's head, so maybe okay, that makes sense.
You just reacted. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
But so you shifted your center towards freedom, which I agree with you. I feel like that's really appropriate. And we already shifted it. We shifted it last week, but we're now announcing what we did. So you are now closer towards freedom. And now I have to think of a transition from talking about growth and advancement to asking you what your favorite comedian is. And I think I found my transition, which is saying that I need to find a transition.
Well played.
Incredible.
That's pretty good, right? Nailed it.
And now suddenly we find ourselves in another portion of the show.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, we should start doing segments and we'll fade out and have a little
back to you, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. This comes from another supporter. Who are your favorite comedians and why?
Comedians, plural. I'm not gonna name everybody, but I do enjoy Joe Coy. I love
How can you not?
I like, I can relate to it, but also I like the way how he tells the stories. Kevin Hart, obviously, because I do enjoy the way how he tells his stories too, especially in the early days. I felt like it was really good.
Robin Williams. Robin Williams is a personal hero of mine.
Yeah.
And I have a quote from him in my email signature. So literally every person I ever email sees this quote. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I don't know if you noticed it.
I don't know if I have.
You're only given one little spark of madness. You mustn't lose it.
There it is.
That's not funny. That's helpful. It's serious.
I love that. And I just love the range of him as a person and as an actor and a comedian. And
I am 100% with Steve. And
he was a brilliant person.
I'm loving everything that he's saying right now.
He was.
Yeah, if that didn't get it across, I also...
You were saying Robin Williams as well? It's
yes.
Too late. Steve already said that.
Okay. I got nothing.
Is it me? It's okay. You can tell me.
I'll go.
Thank you.
Slaying it. Now that was a transition.
That's so good.
That's good. That's good, Danny.
Yeah. But you were saying, Nick?
No, you can go now. Nick.
No, you're going. You said it.
Well, I don't know. My favorite comedian changes a lot. Right now I'm watching Barry, so I think I want to say Bill Hader.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader's great.
Barry's great. He's good. I miss Stefan.
I know.
Johnny?
I think my favorite comedian... I'm having trouble deciding, so I'll say it's a tie between Neil Brennan and Rory Scovel. They're both smaller working comics right now.
I've heard the names. I don't think I've...
They both have Netflix specials, which are worth watching. But
okay.
Yeah. I recognize them.
All right. Yeah, I feel like I've heard the name. I've never seen their stuff.
They're funny.
Well, they're comedians, so I'd hope they'd be funny. If it was not evident from Young Boomy, I am a huge fan of John Mulaney. I find his humor just offbeat and off the wall, and I literally never expect where his punchlines are going, and they make me die laughing every time.
That should be one of our goals, to have John Mulaney voice Young Boomy on the pod.
That would actually be really fun. There's no way we would get him, but that would be really cool.
He does do voice acting.
That would be very cool.
He has done.
Oh man. Yeah. I remember I found it and I was like, oh, it's pretty I guess this is back when I cared about this thing, but I was like, oh, he's kind of clean too. You know what I mean? I don't care about that anymore.
Okay.
I don't remember. Let's move on. It's time. We're good. All right. We're going to open on the boat. The end of East Lake is in sight, the north end of East Lake, and where people get ferried to in order to start heading on the road to Ba Sing Se and get on a train into the lower ring. You've got some time. Is there anything that the three of you, Che, Ren, or Rosic, would like to do while you're on this boat?
Without even meaning to, Che just is sitting somewhere on the boat against like the wall and just falls asleep. Just out.
All right. Che is fast asleep.
Makes sense, We haven't rested.
It's been
enough.
like days since he slept.
Yeah.
Hard to make good decisions when we're this tired.
At one point, Rozak, looking for Che, turns a corner, holding the deck of Uno cards. Che. He turns, sees he's asleep. He goes, oh. And looks at the deck and just puts it in his pocket. And then he goes to sleep too.
Both Che and Rozak are asleep. I'm assuming too. I'm no boat expert or nautical aficionado, but I imagine there is at least a night of rest.
Yes.
I don't think the boat can get all the way from the south end of East Lake to the north end
Not
of
a
East Lake
speedboat.
in one night. So I'm assuming you guys got some rest, but you are probably also tired, so you just pass out at random times.
Wait, so are you saying we got a full
I'm thinking so.
fatigue?
Yeah, so I think there are probably cots, not the most comfortable, but decently comfortable. I'll say that the three of you can unmark 3 fatigue.
Wow.
That's 0 fatigue now.
Nice.
My fatigue's been full for so long.
How's it's been a while.
Life is good.
Ren, I'm glad you're the last person to talk because I want to ask you a question. Up until this point, what has been making... what has been making Ren feel guilty?
Oof. I've had guilty marked for a solid month.
You have, so why is Ren feel guilty?
I don't think I've ever recovered from a serious... there's never a moment to not feel guilty
I know.
as an idealist. So,
and that's why, I don't think I don't want you to be when did I mark guilty? What was that exact moment? Just as you're thinking about Ren and his guilty feeling, what comes to mind?
Yeah, so what comes to mind is honestly his code. So never denying a request for help. Always standing up to bullies. Never leaving a friend behind. Even though it's not super cut and dry, Ren feels like all of those are broken. On a regular basis. Even when Sho decides to leave, Ren feels like we've left Sho behind. Even when Leeko decides to leave, Ren feels like we've abandoned Leeko. There's this just sense of perpetual responsibility bearing down on him. So I think that's the main thing. A sense of having failed friends and just realizing how crucial it is to Ren to hold them together.
What is Ren doing?
Ren needs to train. It's time to turn people into noodles.
You spend, you probably wake up, maybe you're sleeping on your cot and you just feel like someone kicking you. Get up.
What?
Come on.
Oh. Again?
Yeah, again. It's all about the form, Ren.
But we've been practicing the form since we started. Isn't there anything else?
And you are terrible at it. No, you're terrible at the forms.
What? Normally things like this come easy to me. What's wrong?
What were you expecting?
Well, normally I use weapons and every weapon feels right in my hand. I don't know why, but it's always been that way. But this is just fingers. You want me to poke you? It's weird.
Ren, what is a hand if not 5 little weapons on it?
Quick aside, Everything Everywhere All at Once is an incredible film.
I can't wait to see it. It's coming out soon on digital.
The finger thing, remember that?
I haven't seen
It's
it.
a great aside. Zishan, you say weird things.
I mean, I say stuff
But
that...
okay, I'll practice the form.
Did you just think that because you've learned other forms of fighting that you would just be able to pick this up? Like, why this? I've seen you fight with your fans. I've seen you fight with that Naginata. I don't understand why you were drawn to this.
For some reason, it feels like I'm always falling behind. And I've heard that if you do it right, you can even stop bending for a time if you master this technique. I don't know if that's true, but I thought maybe it could give me a chance. If it came down to it and I had to help the others, maybe I could even stop a bender. I feel like I've always depended on everyone else for that.
So you feel inadequate?
Well, yeah, if you have to put a word to it.
I mean, why beat around the bush? What's the point of that? Just say what you mean. That's what chi blocking is. Benders connect to something else in order to find another power.
Right, and I don't connect to anything.
And she kicks the Naginata towards you. What do you do?
Ren immediately pops his foot up, just lifting it into his hand. What do you want me to do?
You just did it.
Ren looks awkwardly at the Naginata. Did what?
You did that without thinking. All of the best benders can bend without thinking, but 90% of them are putting all of their energy into doing that. You, however, the way you fight, the way you move, the way you've been taught, it's all instinct. That's all chi blocking is. It's trusting your gut.
Okay, I don't know how that's supposed to help me.
Do the forms again. And cut to like a montage scene of the forms. But I think...
Never.
Yeah, Danny, what's the montage song?
The shadow boxing scene from
Okay.
Hot Rod and Footloose, but Hot Rod did it better. That's it.
Okay, perfect.
I accept.
Yeah, let's avoid that copyright strike.
I think it was under the time limit.
We didn't sing the whole song.
Yeah, we didn't sing the whole song.
I have towed the line on that like 4 times in
Oh,
this
yeah,
show.
definitely.
You just said no.
We haven't gotten cease and desist yet.
Going strong.
Ren, why don't you... well, let's roll the training move, but before we do, let's answer the questions first.
Okay.
When you spend time with a teacher learning and training in a new technique, which you have done, roll with the modifiers from the following questions. So, is your balance in line with your center, or are you free of conditions?
I am not free of conditions. My balance is in line with my center.
Okay, so +1. Do you and your teacher share at least one background? And your backgrounds are privileged and military. And
I'm guessing my teacher's not privileged.
no, Zishan is not privileged, and they are not military either.
Okay.
So you do not get a +1 for that. No surprise, they're urban and criminal.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Does your teacher agree with your reasons for training and learning? I'm going to say that through that conversation, Zishan does agree with your reasons. She may think that you need to push yourself more to believe that yourself, but she thinks you're learning chi blocking for the right reason, which it sounds like you were saying is to protect people.
Yes.
Is the technique easy to grasp based on your current training experiences and skills? Now, you can weigh in on this. I actually think yes.
Yeah, for all of Ren's complaint about struggling and the unnaturalness of this, generally, yes. Yeah.
I think, yeah. So that means you don't take any of the minuses. You don't get that first plus. You don't get the shared background +1, but you are in line with your center. So you're going to click on the roll. You're going to roll the training move. You're going to add +1 to this roll.
Okay. All right, I'm going to roll this and then add 1.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
What'd you roll?
A 9.
Okay. So on a 9, on a hit, you learn the technique and your master shifts your balance. You know what? I actually think they shift you towards forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what came out in that conversation at the top, and I think comes out more, is that Zishan wants you to forgive yourself, to trust yourself, that you are able to do these things.
Okay.
So we're going to move your balance towards forgiveness. That's your center.
Ah, my bad.
You're good. And then on a 7 to 9, it either takes more time than normal or you must mark 2 conditions. Now let's find out whose choice that is. You know what? It doesn't say, so I'll leave it up to you. What do you want to do? You want it to take a little bit longer, which I think would entail you asking Zishan maybe to stay with you a little bit longer in Bossing Say, trying to convince her to do that and maybe give you one more lesson.
Oof. I'm just trying to think through the conditions, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
what conditions
it's
make
a hard
sense
choice for sure.
narratively, you know?
Yeah.
Despite Zishan's intentions to make Ren feel better, and of course the shift does happen, I think I think Ren will be afraid and insecure.
Oof.
I'm loaded.
You're flirting with that line.
I'm loaded.
Yeah, you're
I'm everything
one
but angry.
Condition away from. Yep, you're one condition away from having them all marked.
Maybe Steve should have taken Martyr Complex.
Yeah, maybe Steve should.
Maybe.
Or Ren, rather.
Yeah, well, Steve in real life too.
Steve should take. Yeah, Steve in real life should take Martyr Complex. The boat docks on the harbor, and it jostles the 2 Launcher brothers awake. Zishan's like, "All right, out, everybody out."
Oh,
Yeah, we're here. Come on.
Rosic, come on.
I'm awake. All right, here we go. Real quick, Justin.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Moving on.
All right.
Okay. I had a question regarding returning to center. I don't know if I would fully be able to, but for quite a while, Rozak's center is a step towards trust, but his balance has been pretty far away from that. I don't know if it's always. I don't know if it's been at. Right now, his balance is 2 steps towards self-preservation, and I know that it reads at if you have like a time. And I know it says like a single night usually doesn't suffice.
Yeah,
but they say like if that time is relatively like meditative and blah blah blah. I was wondering if their time on the boat, like Rozak's and Che's, like playing the game, their conversation, Ren's like the 3 of them talking, Rensong, Rozak, Che, like having that heart to heart, and just this. I'm interpreting this time on the boat as more so like relaxing compared to what's been going on. Would Rozak possibly be able to move closer to his center?
I need you to sweeten the pot a little bit more.
All right, let me add some sugar.
Meditation is an actual thing that happens in Avatar. Like people.
Yeah, but so I'm looking at it as
relaxing.
I'm looking at it as the heart-to-heart that Che and Rozak had.
Yeah.
I look at that as that, like, resulting in Rozak having a little more trust in Che, rather than selfishly believing that he's the only one who knows what's best for him.
I am convinced.
I'm not saying that Rozak fully trusts Che. That's what I'm saying. Like,
all three of you can go back to center if you're not at center.
What a benevolent GM.
Oh, it's only because you argue so well.
Oh, thank you.
As you're getting off the boat, Zishan hands Ren a piece of paper, and they go, "This is the name of my contact in the lower ring." Now, I gotta say, they're bad news. So
for us,
for everybody, be careful. Okay. In general, the lower ring it's really dangerous, and my contact, and she points at the paper. Their name's Buna, and he doesn't get to be the head of a gang without doing some pretty messed up stuff.
Well, I mean, you're a criminal. You're all right.
I'm criminal adjacent, is how I would put it.
You hold hostages.
I mean,
you helped imprison rich people and stage a coup. Anyway, is there anything specific that I should actually know about this person, Buna? Like, anything I should do differently?
Well, they love genuflecting. If you can stroke their ego.
What?
Genuflecting.
Ren blushes. Like, Ren is actually embarrassed for not knowing that word.
Okay, yeah. It means to just, like, praise someone, worship them profusely.
Oh.
I thought you were, like, the smart, learned...
It's okay. Che's really good at that. He'll know what to do.
I am?
Yeah. You're good at talking to people.
Am I here? Sorry.
Yeah, you're all there. You're all...
okay. I didn't realize this was just a one-on-one conversation.
Che, I know that if that's what needs to happen, you'll pick it up. You'll be great.
All right. We'll do some genuflecting.
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 Yep, you got it.
Ren's like scribbling notes quietly.
You know any good dumpling merchants?
There are a number of dumpling merchants. There's tons of them in the lower ring. I mean, you can find them in just about any marketplace. Is there a specific one you want?
Yeah. I think it's run by a guy named, like, Pangoli.
Roll plead. Roll plead.
Okay.
Let's see how much Zishan knows.
Pleading with the universe at this point, then. Ooh, I gotta roll with harmony, guys. That's not my forte. Yeah, I rolled a 6, -1. That's 5.
Okay, 5. Zishan eyes you up and down.
What?
Nothing. No. Don't know Pangole.
Yeah, I totally believe you. Thanks for nothing.
Yep. I mean, I got you here, didn't I?
I gave you a city.
And I gave you a boat ride.
I feel like one of us got shorted here.
We did get what we asked for.
I learned to play Uno.
Thank you, Zishan.
True.
Isn't it so fun?
I taught you that.
Ren bows.
Okay, we're moving on. Thank you.
Ren genuflects.
I'm gonna find that guy. So if whatever. See ya.
Good luck. And you're walking away, and like out of the cabin where all the bunks are, the door like swings open, and Boomy stumbles out, and he goes, "I'm up! Don't forget about me!"
Shoot!
We actually forgot about him.
I'm here.
Sorry, Boomy.
I wasn't sleeping. Mm-mm.
No, we were just.
I'm up.
Yep.
Did you sleep the entire boat ride?
If the answer was yes, would you think more of me or less of me?
More.
I don't think anything would change about how I think of you, Boomy.
And I definitely slept. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think more of you. All right, come on. We gotta go find a dumpling merchant.
I have to go talk to the Dai Li.
I don't think you should do that, bud.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Oh.
Maybe we should all...
I have a feeling that they're evil.
Wait. The Dai Li are evil?
Seems like it, yeah.
They're gonna straight up turn you into a robot, and I don't even know what those are because they don't exist yet.
Well, if they did exist in this universe, I think a lot of people would be pretty angry about that.
All right. Che, you said this dumpling merchant's involved with a gang?
No. Remember... Wait, when did we learn that? Kanu told us about a guy we could talk to in Ba Sing Se who might be connected to that organization that we heard about.
Yeah.
The good one. The good one that has done nothing. So the okay one, I guess. So I feel like that's a better shot in the dark than trusting in the Dai Li and the king, who we know are connected to not great things like mind control or whatever the heck went on with Sho Bon.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I only write useful things in my notebook.
Of course.
Yeah, pretty much everything Kanye contributed was... Well, she didn't contribute anything. That's kind of the point. But, whatever. Maybe we run into her when we're in town.
And there's one of the train stations is right here. So you get onto the train, and the train starts moving to Ba Sing Se and the lower ring. And it is at this point that we will cut. Scene fades to black, and we come up on a training room deep below a lake. And I think the scene opens wide angle, and we see both Nao Zhao and Leeko standing on opposite sides of the room. And they've just gotten through like a difficult sparring match, difficult training match. And Nao Zhao just goes, all right, getting better. That was still... You're missing something. What's going on?
I don't know, I guess I'm just not getting it.
I mean, I saw you send an entire tidal wave out with just like a little bit of water, and you can't take me down? You should be able to do that with your eyes closed.
Well, I don't know, maybe I'm just losing energy.
Are you hungry? You want to talk over some food?
I'm tired of talking.
Okay, we can just sit in silence too. I'm down.
Do we have to like spend every moment together?
No one's ever asked me that question before. I guess if you want to go eat.
You're cool and all. It's just, we could be cool at a distance too sometimes. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm kind of codependent. If you haven't,
I'm an introvert.
All right, okay, I get it. You need time to recharge. Say no more.
Okay.
All
right.
I'll send some food to your room.
Thanks.
We'll pick it back up. I got when you're done, come find me. I got something I want to show you.
Okay, so while I'm done, when I finish eating, I'm gonna take a detour.
Absolutely. What are you looking for?
I don't know. I'm just looking around, being a little curious, seeing what else is in this cave. What?
All right.
Are there noises? Like, can I hear anything?
Why don't you roll assess the situation?
I got an 8.
An 8. So you get to ask me one question from that list. So what here can I use to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out, in, or through? Or who or what is in the greatest danger?
What should I be on the lookout for?
That's a good question. You are walking around, and at first, you don't see a whole lot. It's just rooms where, like, there's a few daily agents or Project Spark members that are, sleeping or whatnot. You keep walking down some hallways, and at the end of the hallway, you can't see into the room, but you can see a flashing green light that just pulsates every now and then.
It's not around me, right? It's just in a different...
It's a room down the hallway, but you can see this light, the same where if it's on that track, it goes bright and then it dim and bright and dim and bright and dim.
Okay.
What do you do?
I take a mental note of it, and GM question, is this on the way? This is along the way to see him, right?
You'd have to double.
It's not like
you'd have to double back. It's not. It's not on the way.
Okay. So I take a mental note of it, and I turn to go where I said I was going to go, but then the curiosity in me wants to see who's in that room.
Yeah.
So I very cautiously try to check it out.
Why don't you roll to rely on your skills and training? I'm assuming a foggy swamp tribe member can probably move around silently.
9.
You start sneaking up, and you get close enough that you can see Agent Shang is standing, and this green light is going around the track, and you peek your head in to see who is strapped. And so on a 7 to 9, you do it imperfectly. So here are the consequences. When you peek your head around to see who is strapped and Agent Shang is talking to, some of the wall loosens a little bit. Little rubble, just a couple pebbles. You'll see who's there, but if you don't move back and take that one fatigue, Agent Shang will also see you watching him.
I have all my fatigue still, but did I get enough rest? Because I've been training this whole time.
I think there has been time passed, so why don't you... Well, the cots here are probably similar too. I would imagine an underground prison is not exactly the most comfortable place to sleep. So unmark 3 fatigue.
Okay, so then the consequences right now is that if I don't take the fatigue,
Agent Shang will see you. You'll get to see who's there regardless. If you don't mark a fatigue and move back down the hallway, Agent Shang will see you.
Oh, let's take the fatigue.
Okay. Mark the fatigue. because right as that rubble falls, and right before Agent Chung turns around to see you and you dart down the hallway before he can see you, you see Uncle Simu.
So I take a moment to catch my breath, and I'm processing this, knowing fully well what this could mean. And I decide to make my way back.
You get out of there without anybody seeing you. And you go back and you find Naozao in that room that you first almost got caught in, that giant room that's got the map of the entire Four Nations on it. And he sees you walking. He's like, "Hey, how was the food?"
It was good, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. He gestures to the map. What do you make of this? You see, it's really similar to what you saw down below in the hollow, where there's like a bunch of flags all throughout the world.
I wasn't sure. I don't know. But I know it means something, otherwise they wouldn't have it where it was.
Oh, you've seen this before?
Something similar. That's how I was able to find this place.
Makes sense. That makes sense. These are all of the places that we have Project Spark members. See, Che knew that Project Spark was about infiltrating the Earth Kingdom, right? Waiting for the day when the Fire Lord Sword, bam, do it. We're here. We're ready to go. Got sleeper cell agents all throughout the Earth Kingdom, ready to do our bidding. And when Fire Lord Sozin came to me with this idea, I thought to myself, said, "Self, the Earth Kingdom's too tiny. Why would I just put sleeper cell agents here when I could put them everywhere?" See, the Earth Kingdom's just the start. And that's why I started with the Dai Li. It took a while. I had to do a little convincing, tell a few lies, get my way into it. But once I got the Dai Li, I could get anybody I wanted to. And now, we're starting to get better at it. You won't know who is Project Spark and who's not. Firebender, Airbender, Earthbender, Waterbender. Well, you know, if Fire Lord Sozin got his way, I don't think there are any Airbenders left. But if you meet one, maybe it's one of ours.
Why are you telling me this?
I just want to see what you think.
It's whatever.
He smiles. I like it. Seems like you're on your way to not feeling anything. See, if I showed you this before, or at least from what I gathered from my scouts, you and your friends would have been all up over this and said, "You can't take over the world, it's too crazy." The fact that you're so laissez-faire and nonchalant about this cockamamie plan to take over the world, and it's crazy. All right, I'll be the first to admit that it is insane. But the fact that you're so neutral about it means I may have just found my informer. And he claps his hands, and these two Dai Li agents come out, and they're carrying a box. It's probably about, 4 or 5 feet by a couple feet. Got your little present. Go on, open it. It's not going to hurt you.
Leeko opens it.
As you're opening it, he goes, I had to go and, I wanted something for you to remember your home by, so I had to go chop a couple trees down. Hope you don't mind. And as you open it, you see this wooden prosthetic arm interlaced with like metals. So like half of it is like bamboo and the other half is metal. You know, like maybe the middle fingers are metal, but the other 3 are bamboo, and then it sort of like weaves and interlaces all the way up.
I don't know what to say.
You don't gotta say anything, just try it on.
How do I do that? Like, just...
Yeah, and he comes up and shows you there's like it's like a strap that like comes up over your shoulder, but that holds this in place.
So now that it's on, I'm kind of struggling with trying to find out how like it works and stuff. And I feel like it kind of hurts a little. But it doesn't bother me too much. Like, it's worth it kind of thing. So
Okay, now what do you feel? Come on, give me something. Tell me. What do you think?
I've never used one of these before. Is this gonna help me waterbend, or is this just... What is this for?
I was waiting for you to ask. Alright, just I don't know. I'm not a waterbender. I don't know how you do it. See, I like reach in and I'm like, I'm angry, and that's how I, throw fire around. So I don't know how you waterbenders do it, but whatever you need to do, just reach out and try and feel the arm.
I lift it. Can my fingers move too?
Why don't you reach out, feel in the arm?
Okay, so I try to lift it up, and it's still a little weird and also kind of heavy, but I lift it up, and then the wrist part is still kind of like there. So I try to concentrate really hard to get water flowing through the bamboo.
You feel a pool of water that was inside of the arm move through the arm, and it allows you to bend the wrist. Empty water pocket hollow. Am I brilliant or what?
My fingers start to spread and bend, almost as if I can control my arm. It's like I have my arm back.
Yep. Oh yeah, you do.
Is there anything nearby? It's just stone?
No, there's like training dummies and practice targets for sure.
So, without saying anything, I'm gonna push water from my bamboo, have it just shoot just a little ball of water right now.
Okay.
Actually, let's make it a water bullet. Like in the show.
That's cool. Let's push your luck. This seems like a pretty new thing.
Yeah. 7.
A 7. Okay. This actually was a question I was going to ask you at the start, which was, if you want, I think you can unmark insecure potentially. Which one? Insecure is...
Oh yeah, yes. All of them are still checked.
All of them are checked. And yeah. Insecure is take foolhardy actions without talking to your companions. I would definitely chalk up agreeing to work with Now Zao Launcher as taking a foolhardy action without talking to your companions. If you want to unmark secure.
All right. Yeah. That's basically what was making her insecure for a long time.
Yep. So the consequence, though, of your pushing your luck, you do it. You point your hand and your finger at this target, and poof, this water bullet just shoots out of the fingertip, rockets at this target, and hits it, and it just flies into the wall. You were not expecting the recoil. Totally new thing. And so I want you to mark fatigue as it kind of like blasts you back, and you kind of slam into the wall a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I slam into the wall, and I shake my head, and then I smile.
You're going to have fun with that, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun. And as Nazao and Leeko are sort of looking at each other, the scene, fades down. And Sho, where are you? You left in the middle of your conversation with Uncle Simu? ?
Mm-hmm.
And you told me you were on your way to Ba Sing Se.
Yes.
I don't really care to make you go through customs, because that sounds like literal hell, both in the real world and in the Avatar world. So we're not gonna watch Sho just sit on a chair for 5 hours and wait for his name to be called.
DMV.
And I'm assuming as a Daily agent too, it's probably pretty easy for you to move in and out of the city, have the clearance and the paperwork. Yeah. You are in the lower ring of Ba Sing Se.
Oh, that's exactly where I want to be. It's the lower ring of Ba Sing Se.
I assumed. Where are you headed?
So I am headed to my friend May's house.
Your friend May's house. Okay.
Yeah, she lives here in the lower ring.
All right.
And I need to talk to her.
All right. For those, I would imagine most listeners are familiar with Ba Sing Se. The lower ring is where most of the poor, lower class live. Those who don't have as many opportunities as other people. And so all the houses are like really tightly packed together. There's a ton of alleys that are like dirty and abandoned, and like a lot of just like shops and carts, because people can't like always afford the storefront. You walk up to like the Earth Kingdom equivalent of like an apartment building, a big stone block that looks like it houses a ton of families and people. And you know that May lives on, we'll say, the 4th floor.
So I stop at some point when I get into the city and find a shop and try and buy just like a hooded tunic, and I'm like ditching my conical hat, the stuff I've been typically wearing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like walking through the streets with like hood up and trying to avoid people taking notice of me.
Yeah.
But I'm moving as quickly as I can. I'm not like going slow or taking my time. And so I get up to the 4th floor of this building where I know May's apartment is, and I'm just frantically knocking on her door. Just, May?
Who's out there?
It's Sho. I need you to open the door. I need you to open the door right now.
And the door opens. She's like, Sho, what are you doing here? And she pulls you into her apartment, shuts the door.
Mm-hmm.
What are you?
Just let me talk, okay? There's a lot going on, and I don't know how much you know, but the Fire Nation is invading the Earth Kingdom, and I think that the Dai Li is participating, and I need to know if you still have those contacts that can get into the upper ring.
How do you come into my house and drop all of this stuff on me all at once and then ask me for a favor? And she like slaps you, like not hard, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I should have given you a little bit more warning, but there's just not time, May. Everything is at stake.
Why don't you plead with your friend May?
7.
A 7. They need some evidence that this is the right thing to do. Haha. Yeah, I know a guy. Yep. There's just... Okay, look. Are you sure you want to do this?
I mean, it'd be a lot easier not to, but I don't know if anybody else is going to if I don't.
Okay. All right. Okay. We got to go find Buna. He's the leader of this gang called Rumble, but it's also like sports arena. He does bookings and gambling, and he will let you into the upper ring, but you gotta get a team together to win one of his games.
Okay. Well, I mean, do a lot of people hang out there looking for a team?
We can go and see.
Yeah. If that's the option, that's the option. Let's go.
Okay. And she starts to grab, some things and turns around and says, Sho,
Yeah.
It's really good to see you.
Yeah, and I step forward and just like wrap her in a big hug and say, "It's good to see you too, May."
We left on bad terms.
You're right. I hope I can make amends.
Sorry I slapped you.
It's all right. I deserved it.
All right. And
all of a sudden, Leeko's there in the room. She's like, "Yep, tell it, sister."
From miles away, underground,
sipping wine.
You seem to leave a lot of things on bad terms.
Let the record state that Sho Bon did not leave that on bad terms. Somebody else left.
You start making your way to...
Start making your way downtown.
Walking fast.
Faces pass.
Homebound.
It's coming in strong.
I just think of the movie White Chicks.
Yeah.
May leads you to an area of the lower ring that is like less cramped and populated, but that's because you realize there's just like this giant entertainment coliseum. When you live in the lower ring, you have to find ways to entertain yourself. And so watching this sort of...
No place is better than entertainment coliseum.
Exactly. It's like entertainment coliseum. And even before you get in, you can hear the crowd just like screaming and hollering. You're walking in and like, the light's coming in so you can't see. But as soon as you walk past that arch, it opens up and you see a giant tank of water the length of the Colosseum. And there are a bunch of wooden poles all throughout. And then on each of the corners, there are little islets, almost little grooves and alcoves that are solid land and not just poles. You also see that this whole thing is caged. And the reason it's caged is because flying in the air are a bunch of buzzard wasps. In the pool are 2 giant unagi. And on each of the 4 islands is a porcupine. And you see 2 teams that are trying to kick a ball into a net on the north and south side and get a ball into that net. And as you come in, the crowd's cheering and you hear the buzzer like as you see one of the contestants fall into the water and this unagi just wraps him up. And then there's like a shock to the unagi and it lets go. And some people swim in and grab this guy out and close the cage again. And then you hear the announcer saying, "Well, it looks like the blue team lost. I guess we're going to find out who's the next challenger next week." That was me saying next week.
That was good.
I heard that. When you said next week, I interpreted it as next week.
So in game, the announcer said next week.
All right, everybody, we'll just take a break. We'll see you next week.
So a porcupine, just making sure.
Yeah.
Wild boar meets porcupine?
Boar.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Very scary.
Interestingly enough, no.
Huh?
No. Yeah, no. It's a boar
No,
and a
Steve.
pine tree.
It's borscht.
It's borscht. Well, Sho, you got to find a team. But also, I think there's some other people maybe on their way to find Buna. So we'll see what happens.
I will not be working with them. We'll have to see next week.
Yeah, we've been having a ton of fun telling this story. Check out our store again. Steve talked about it up top, but yeah, feel free to check it out again. All the apparel is ethical and fair wear, and you know that you are not contributing to the poor living and work conditions of someone who made that shirt, which is super worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out. We think the shirts and apparel are pretty cool, which is why some of us have them already. And I would imagine most of us will get them eventually.
Oh, yeah.
We also have a Patreon. So feel free to check that out. Unfortunately, the offer for the free shirt has ended, but you are more than welcome to join our Patreon at any of the tiers. Tons of great benefits. And, eventually we'd love to get to the point where we offer Patreon exclusive material. So that might mean more shows. It might mean us just talking in your ear about whatever we want.
Yeah, that's actually our next goal, is to kind of do a behind the scenes talk show every now and then. So
yeah, it'll be just us kind of chatting and hanging out a little bit, talking about the show, talking about life, talking about, I don't know, our thoughts on the space race.
I got a lot of them. We can do that if you want.
That's what. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Which billionaire's getting to Mars first?
It's whatever we want to talk about. Whatever we want to talk about. And if you can't join our Patreon, totally fine. Just tell a ton of friends. Tell as many friends as possible. And I heard that for every friend you tell, Nick will make you a bamboo wooden prosthetic arm.
I guess I'll get started on that. That's gonna.
Nick, you have to get the metal from the Fire Nation meteorites. And the bamboo has to come from the Foggy Swamp.
I'll get on that.
Okay.
Yep.
That is a trip.
That it's a cool gift. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't have the powers of Now Zao Longshore. I can't just show up literally everywhere all the time, but I'll do my best.
It's called Deus Ex Machina.
The entrance to the Four Nations is actually in your closet. So
the entrance, that'd be fun. It's like, yeah, I get you. All right. Anyway, we will see you next week. Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai. Outro music is Tokyo Funk by LA2G Music. Logo and art by Kate and Matthew Menke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com, linked in the show notes.